Welcome, guys, to our preview every single announcement for the 2022 season. We're back in the AFC West with the Kansas City Chiefs, who for the last 6 seasons have been dominating the AFC West, winning multiple AFC West championships. They did it again last year. They had a 12-5 record last year. Go to the AFC Championship game. They're 21-3 in the first half. Come out in the second half and they're 24-27 in overtime, and the Bengals go to the Super Bowl because again. No, that is not me choking. That is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid's play calling and the defensive core choking at the second half. They was 21-3. And then Mahomes with his stupid play calls and Andy Reid with his play calls and the defensive core, and it went to 24-27. But we're not going to talk about that. But the biggest losses they had in this offseason was Byron Pringle to the Bears. He's put some Bears football. And Tyreek Hill, who's gone to the Dolphins, they got multiple trades back. And then in this draft, they got Trent McDuffie, cornerback from Washington. They got George Kafris, defensive end from Purdue. Sky Moore, I have seen Sky Moore's tapes. I'm really excited to see how Sky Moore and Mahomes gel next season. So he came from Western Michigan. Leo Channel, linebacker from Wisconsin. Josh Williams, cornerback. Darian Kinnard, tackle from Kentucky. Jalen Watts, cornerback from Washington State. Isaiah Pacino, running back. And they were the drafts this year. And obviously with the whole thing about Tyreek Hill, and he was going to be the most paid wide receiver in NFL history, but the last 2 years they've been just under the salary cap, and that's why, again, if you could have Mahomes on this big money, you're not going to pay Tyreek Hill. Again, one of them had to go, and you're not going to lose your star quarterback. So getting at least Byron Pringle off the salary cap, and you gain a Tyreek Hill. Again, how is Sky Moore going to be as a development? We're going to have to see in that first year, but Mahomes had the fewest passing yards percent per game last year. He had 28.46, he went fifth on the passing charts last year. He had 4,839 yards. He had 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and again, that 13 interceptions last year. The defense was ranked 5th last year. They averaged about 26.4 pressure rates on the defense, 31 sacks, and that defensive line needed a lot of work. And an overhaul was needed. So he had George Kitford, defensive end from Purdue, who came in. You still have Travis Casey, who is, again, I know he's 32, but he's still one of your top tight ends. And then I want to talk about Sky Moore. Sky Moore, he has a decent speed run. He can rotate the running lane, and I do like the other acquisition of Clyde Edwards and Ronald Bakefield. I love their combo for the cornerback, and also you have the potential of Isaiah Pacino, and that potential he has potential. Isaiah Pacino to have that. He has an elite speed, so I'm interested in that. And he has a change of pace. So if he gets a couple of runs in the team, then I'm interested to see how his development's going to be. Then the Chiefs. I look at the Chiefs secondary, and you look at that secondary, and it needed a lot of work going into this offseason. So they got Trent McDuffie, like I said earlier, cornerback. They got Josh. They got Fenton, who joins That can also, he can be a linebacker, running back, and stuff like that. What do I think the Chiefs are going to be next year? They're going to win the division in the AFC West. And maybe get to a championship game again, the AFC championship game. Will they choke again like they did last year? How are they going to be now that Tyreek Hill and Byron Pringle are not there anymore? That's going to be interesting for me to see how they're going to be without those guys. Because the last couple of years they've been part of this Kansas Chiefs success with the Super Bowl, and they lost to the Buccaneers a couple of years ago. They lost to the Bengals at the AFC Championship game last year. It's going to be an interesting 2022 season. I'm interested to see how this development goes with Mahomes and Sky Moore. And yeah, peace guys.